Hi there, my name is Victor Wu. I am head of product here at Windmill Engineering, and we make a product called Tilt. You might have heard of it, and you're probably using it if you're watching this video. So I'm going to assume that you've already are using Tilt. You know that it's a binary that you install on your machine, and you use it, and perhaps even you have multiple team members using it together. And so you might be wondering, what is Tilt Cloud? Well, in a nutshell, Tilt Cloud is infrastructure for when production is a coworker's laptop. And so Tilt Cloud really right now is focused on helping the DevX engineer, as we like to call it, the developer experience engineer. So that could be the team lead, it could be a manager, it could be one of the developers on the team, or it could be a special office within your company. Suffice it to say that individual or group of individuals, these DevX stakeholders, they really care about the developer experience. And so we've created Tilt to make that developer experience great, in particular when you're doing multi-service development, say with Kubernetes. But if you're the DevX engineer, how do you roll out Tilt? How do you monitor your team using Tilt to make sure that they're getting the most out of Tilt? If they run into problems, that they can come to you. And so that's really where Tilt Cloud comes in. And so Tilt Cloud is a SaaS backend for Tilt that lets you release, support, and measure the Tilt developer experience for the people using Tilt. So in particular, what does that mean? It means releasing improvements that are fast and safe, supporting users when they encounter problems, and measuring the ground truth across users. So let's double click right away into what that means. And we'll start with measure, probably the easiest one. And so right now I'm going to show you the Tilt Cloud app, and it's a SaaS backend. So it's not a binary that you install, that's Tilt, but you run Tilt Cloud, or you log into Tilt Cloud at the same time you're using Tilt, or you don't have to run them together, but it's a separate app. It's a web app. And so this example here it's a live example, and you can see, for example, your team is called Acme, and you are the DevX engineer or the team lead or whatever, and you really care about are folks using Tilt. So you want to measure the ground truth. You want to know if folks are using Tilt. And right away on this team page, you can see that Victor, so that's me, and I'm the owner of the team. And so I say, for example, I'm the DevX owner, DevX engineer, and I want to know if Matt and Maya have been using Tilt. And so on this screen, on this dashboard, right away, it tells me that they have been using Tilt recently. Well, actually not recently. Today is June 16th, but they haven't been using Tilt in particular, and so that might be of concern. So right away I can see that. There's an anonymous user who I haven't found out yet, and there's folks here. So obviously these are test users, but you can see that these are the folks that I know have been using Tilt, or when they actually last used Tilt. So in this particular case, in this team, if I'm the DevX engineer, this immediately is a red flag. I'm measuring the ground truth of when folks are using Tilt, and it hasn't been really recent. It's been actually half a month ago. So that's measure, and we really want to build up that feature. So that's one of our focus on release, support, measure. We really want to, as a product vision, we're envisioning more features to help you as the DevX engineer see more analytics, essentially, whether it's on this page or elsewhere. But at a glance, the first feature we have allows you to see who has been using Tilt recently on your team. Release, controlling releases, that's what we mean by release. So the controlling releases of Tilt in particular. So at Tilt, we're releasing Tilt approximately on a weekly basis. We want to ship a lot of new awesome features. But when you're using Tilt, you maybe want to be a little bit more conservative. You might not want to always give the latest version of Tilt to your folks to use. And so that's what you see here. Current team version is set at 0.14.2, and you can actually promote that current version to 14.3. So suffice it to say, this particular feature is encouraging these folks to say, it's safe to go to 14.2. So for example, it shows here that Matt, when they last used Tilt for this particular team, they were using 0.14.0, and this is saying to them, oh, Matt, you can upgrade to 0.14.2. It's safe to do so. So that is release. And then the last one is support. And so what we mean by support is, how can we support these users? If Matt has a problem, Maya has a problem, and they run into problems running, doing development, doing multi-service development on Kubernetes, for example. So what can we do to help them? And so one of the ways that we've developed is a concept called snapshots. Essentially, if you're using Tilt, so I'm going to bring up Tilt here, perhaps you have an error here, you have a lot of log messages and errors, or you have a lot of log messages, and if they come across an error, how can Matt or Maya tell me, the DevX engineer, that they're having a problem? They can run over to my desk. So right now it's June 16, 2020, and that's really hard because we're all working from home. So they maybe can Slack me. They can say, oh, like, Victor, would you like to jump on a call? But what's a little bit more integrated, a native way for them to ask for help and for me to support them? And one way we've developed is something called Snapshots, where essentially I, as the DevX engineer, can get a snapshot of their working Tilt app, or their Tilt workspace, essentially. So I'll show you the UI first. So this is the for the Acme team, this is the list of snapshots of Acme. And so I'm not logged in, I'm not using Tilt right now. So you can see the URL. I'm still on Tilt Cloud, and I can click into one of these snapshots, and I'm still on Tilt, and you can see immediately it looks exactly like Tilt, because the way we've implemented this feature, it is pretty much that case. So this is not a live running version of Tilt, because this is just a snapshot in time of what an individual, what say Matt or Maya had, and let's say, for example, they had a problem and one of these was red, and then they took a snapshot and they were able to share it with me. And in particular, I can see a list of all historical snapshots here. So that's what we mean by release support measures. So releasing controlled releases right now, that's our first feature. Supporting users, so we have snapshots, team snapshots in particular, that's our first feature. And measuring the ground truth, showing last check-ins. So we have a lot more to do in our product vision to build out Tilt Cloud, but we wanted to, or I wanted to explain that we have 3 initial pillars for Tilt Cloud, and we have 3 initial very exciting features. And so I'll end up this video with a quick demo to see how it behaves on the Tilt side. So what I've explained is, you as a DevX engineer, you can actually see, I actually don't need to run Tilt on a day-to-day basis. Say I'm not a say my role is purely to support the folks who are development, and I've set up their Tilt file for them. And so maybe every now and then I need to tweak it. So on a day-to-day basis, I don't actually need to run Tilt. And all I need to do is access Tilt Cloud and look at all this information. So how does this information actually come to me, or conversely, how are the developers, how is the experience of Matt and Maya? And it turns out it's exactly the same. They actually have to tweak very little to their day-to-day workflow. So imagine now I'm Matt or Maya, and I've run Tilt up on my terminal, and I see Tilt. So hopefully this looks very familiar to you. And so the only thing that that Matt or Maya need to do is they need to log in. So I'm logged in as myself, so not Matt or Maya. I just pretend this as Maya or Matt. And I just have to log into Tilt Cloud. And so that connects me to Tilt Cloud so that I can send the information to Tilt Cloud as I'm running Tilt. And I also have to associate this particular repository with that team, with Acme Inc. And it turns out what's great is that Matt or Maya don't have to do this, because you, as a DevX engineer, all you need to do is you create the team in Tilt Cloud. And I actually won't go through that in this video. I'll point you to some resources. I want to keep this video short. But all I have to do is set up the Tilt file, as I've always been doing, create the team on the Tilt Cloud side, and link them together. And the way I link them together is, all I do is write an ID, a team ID, to the Tilt file. I commit it to source control so that when Matt or Maya, they pull in the latest changes from the Tilt file, from the repo, they are already associated with the team, right? Because the repo itself is the state. So right away, all they need to do, the additional step they need to do beyond what they've always been doing, is log into Tilt Cloud, and immediately, every time they run Tilt, this information will be reflected back into here. The version that they're allowed to, or that they're encouraged to download, will be reflected here. So if you use Tilt, you can see right here, it says get tilt 14.3 here. You're running 14.0. So that's a special case, so I apologize for this demo because I'm the owner, so I actually get to see 14.3, whereas Matt and Maya, what they will see actually will see 14.2. So that's the whole point of the feature. And then finally, how do I create a snapshot? So for example, say I have an error, what I can do is click create snapshot, and I can click this link, and immediately that creates a snapshot. I can open the snapshot here, but what's really cool is I can also view snapshots from your team. And this list is exactly the same UI as I was showing here. So you can see there's one more, right? Because I just created one. So you can see from the perspective of Matt and Mai, the engineers who are doing the actual development, their experience is not changed. They don't have to go into Tilt Cloud if they don't want to. They can, but we're focused on making the Tilt Cloud experience really for the DevX engineer here in particular. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to hit us up. And so we're really open. We develop our product out in the open. Tilt is open source, but in particular, you can always go to tilt.dev for a lot of great resources. So that's our landing page. You can go to the docs here to see all this great information. You can go to, from the docs, you can go to Teams here or Tilt Cloud. And so I just talked about Tilt Cloud. You can read all the details here of the video that I just shared and even more. And if you want to talk to somebody at Tilt, I would recommend you join our Slack channel. And so you can do that by going to all the way down here. You can click on this link and you can go into the Kubernetes Slack. There's a Tilt channel just for us. And there's a community of over 600 and close to 650 users as of mid-June right now. So that's really exciting. And you can actually just get on a video call with us. And so you can schedule a demo. So you can click on here. And this will bring you to this nice page called the Tilt Enterprise page. You can sign up, pick a time, and yeah, you can talk to us. So thank you for watching this video. And yeah, please connect with us. Bye now.